Good afternoon, children. Welcome to the science class. So, in the last class, we were studying the lesson number 10, the work and energy. In the previous class, we were just learning about the energy and the meaning of energy and the forms of energy, children. Just we'll recall what we have studied in the last class and we'll move further, children, today. So, now we learned the meaning of energy. So, what is energy, children? Energy is the capacity to do work. So, how can we define energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. To do work, we need energy, and this energy it occurs in different forms. And the first form of energy we learned in the last class was the mechanical energy. Under the forms of energy, the first energy we learned was the mechanical energy, children. So, how will you define mechanical energy? Mechanical energy is the energy possessed by an object either due to its position, condition, or due to its motion, or both, children. So, and in the mechanical energy, we can observe the two types of energy, that is the potential energy and kinetic energy. Yes. So, what is potential energy, children? Potential energy is the energy possessed by an object, due to its position or condition. Yes. Potential energy is the energy possessed by an object due to its position or condition. Now, when we just saw the meaning of potential energy, we learned the different examples under the potential energy, children. Now, when an object due to its position or condition, just we saw that there was an hammer. Now, if you think now as this hammer, now I want to break the plastic sheet. Now, when this hammer is raised to a certain height, okay, as it is raised to a certain height, it possesses what it possesses. It possesses the potential energy, and by using this potential energy, when we break the plastic sheet, it breaks into the pieces, children. So we have to due to its position, that is raising the hammer to a certain height, it possesses the potential energy, children. Now after this, we saw the example of spring. Now when this spring, when as the spring compresses, yes, as this spring compresses, what happens? The potential the compression of the spring, it possesses the potential energy. Due to this potential energy, the work has been done, and we are able to write the pen, children. Okay, the work, that is writing of the pen. So this spring is present in the pen. Okay, children. Now after this, we saw that the rubber band, when as we stretch the rubber band, what happens? As we stretch the rubber band, you will be playing in the classroom by keeping the paper and hitting the paper with the help of the rubber band to your friends. So as you stretch the rubber band, okay, yes, what happens? The rubber band, it possesses the potential energy. So stretching of the rubber band and compressed string and the objects which are held in at certain position. So all these objects, they store some of the energy in them. They store some of the energy in them, and this energy, all these have the potential. All these have the potential to do work. Yes, these have the potential to do work. So this type of energy, we call it as the potential energy. Now after learning the potential energy, just we learnt the kinetic energy. So what is kinetic energy? The kinetic energy is the energy possessed by an object or by a body due to its motion, children. Due to its motion. Yes, due to its motion. So that type of energy we call it as kinetic energy. So here we saw the certain way, just when we take up the examples of the kinetic energy, children, a car, okay, a car moving on the road, a car moving on a road. So this car moving, which is in the moving position, this car, it possesses kinetic energy, children. So as it possesses the kinetic energy because due to as the car is moving. Understood? So now when there is another car which is at rest, children, the car which is at rest, it doesn't move. As it doesn't move, here what happens, the kinetic energy of this car is zero. The kinetic energy of this car is zero because it doesn't possess any kinetic energy, children, as it is at rest. So from this what we can know that kinetic energy directly depends on the motion of the objects. Okay, motion of the objects are moving. So from this we came to know that the objects which are at rest, they doesn't possess any kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy of these objects will be zero. Okay, when we take the another examples, the fast moving ball it may be, or the glass, okay, taking the catapult in the textbook it is given. Okay, the example, you will be playing with the catapult, children, the by taking the glass or a stone, keeping the stone in the catapult, and to hurt a person or to hurt any fruit or a plant, we use the catapult. So here as a stone or the moving glass marble, as it is moving, so that moving marble, it possesses what it possesses, children, it possesses the kinetic energy. Understood? It may be the flowing water as it is moving along the wood, as it comes along its way, it just pushes the things as the water is flowing. What happens, it pushes some of the things around in across it, and it helps to move the things coming in its way. So the flowing water is also the example of kinetic energy. And we can also see that the moving aeroplane or car moving on a road, or a ball thrown by the cricketer. Okay, so this are some of the examples where the objects are in motion. And these objects which are in motion, they possess kinetic energy. So these are some of the examples we have learnt in the last class. So now we move on to the next form of energy, children. So when we take up the next form of energy, yes, we know that till now what we read, that the potential and kinetic energy together, they make up the mechanical energy of the object. So mechanical energy is not only the form of energy, there are other forms of energy also. Okay, so one of the other forms of energy just we are going to learn is heat. Yes, so heat is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy, children. Okay, so why do we call heat a form of energy? Why we are calling heat as a form of energy? Because here heat, it can do the work. So with the help of the heat, the work can be done. Okay, the work can be done. As the work can be done, it is called as a form of energy. So now when we take up a vessel, children, yes, in your home, I think your mother will boil the water. This is similar way. Yes, we have taken the vessel and we have taken the water inside it, and we have just closed the vessel with the lid. So this is the lid. Now what I am going to just will heat up the water. Yes. So now what happens? what happens after some time? What happens? The heat makes the water to boil. The heat makes the water to boil. So the water starts boiling, and as the water starts boiling, we can see the white, we as it is closed, we know that as the water starts boiling, white fumes just arises inside the vessel, and this converts into steam, children. Yes, this is converted into steam. So the water is converted into steam. Now this steam which is present inside the vessel, it what it does, it makes the lid to move. It just what it does, it makes the lid to move up and down. That is, it is lifting up the lid of the vessel. As it is lifting up, this steam helps to lift the lid. Yes, to make up and down. So as it is making the lid to move up and down, here the work is done. Yes, the work is done. As the work is done, okay, to lift the lid of the vessel, hence heat can also do the work. So the heat which the energy which is produced in the vessel, it can do the work, children. So hence we call that heat is a form of energy, as it can do the work, that is lifting the lid. So here we saw this is one of the example to say that heat is a form of energy. Now when we take up there are other examples also where we can say that heat is a form of energy, children. As we know that heat energy, by using the heat energy, yes, we can generate the electricity. By using the heat energy, we can generate, what we can generate, children? We can generate the electricity. So the energy which is the electricity which is generated by using the heat energy, yes, this electricity we call it as thermal electricity. Yes, so this thermal electricity can be generated by using the heat energy in the thermal power plant. Okay, the thermal power plant. Thermal power plants where we can observe that using the heat energy, electricity is generated. So on moving to Ballari, on the way we can observe there is a thermal power plant in Kurtni, children, where what they are using the heat energy to produce electricity. So how this heat energy is produced? The same way what we have seen in the last example. Here also in this thermal power plant, what they are going to do, they are going to heat the water. So here what they are going to do, the water is heated up. As the water is heated up, the water starts boiling, and this produces the steam. And this steam, as the steam is produced, with the help of this steam help the turbines. Okay, turbines will be situated, the blades of the blades of the fan. These turbines, this steam helps the turbines to rotate. As the rotation of the turbines takes place with the help of the steam, yes, here what happens, the electricity is generated. The electricity is generated. So the electricity generated by using the steam, okay, so this form of electricity generated is called thermal electricity, and where it is generated in thermal power plant, children. Yes, so here from this what we can know that yes, heat is a form of energy. This is one of the example. And when we move on to the next example, as we know that in olden days we were using the steam engines. Yes, the steam engine. So here the same mechanism is being used, children. That is, the water is heated up and the steam is generated, and this steam here, the steam which is generated in the steam engine, yes, yeah, okay, in the steam engine there is a piston, we call that piston. Yes, this is connected to the wheel of the engine, and this steam pushes the piston, makes the engine to move forward. This piston moves for makes the engine to move forward. So here this is called the steam engine, where they have been using the steam to make the engine to move forward. So these are some of the examples where we can learn that heat is a form of energy. So what else can this heat energy can do? Okay, this heat energy, here one more example we can give, that as we know that sun, the main source of the sun is the main source of, from earlier classes you have learned that sun is a main source of heat and light. Yes, sun is the main source of heat and light. So now we know that sun, it gives us heat and light, children. So now what do? You can take a magnifying glass. Yes, yes, take a magnifying glass and take a paper. Yes, go under the sun. Yes, keep the yes. Now what you have to do, you have to hold a paper. This is the paper, children. Yes, this is the magnifying glass. You have to hold a paper on such a way that you have to adjust the magnifying glass. Yes, in such a way that, okay, a tiny spot of sunlight should fall on the paper. This is a tiny spot of sunlight. Okay, it should fall on the paper. You have to hold the position. You have to hold the magnifying glass steadily. You should not make it to move, so that the spot of light should fall on the paper. Yes, and you have to keep it steady, and after some time you can see that the paper starts burning. The paper starts burning, okay, at the spot of the sunlight where it's falling. So this is because, how this has happened, this is because the sunlight, it contains a lot of heat, and the lens makes all the sunlight to fall on the lens, and it, so that to come together at one point, and okay, and on the at one point on the paper, children. And as it falls on the paper at one point, and the heat generated from the sun, it what it does, it makes the paper starts burning at this position. Understood? So the as this paper starts burning, from this we can know that yes, heat is a form of energy. So these are some of the examples of the heat, as we know that it is a form of energy. And we know that this sun's heat, it makes our the planet earth, yes, warm, and it keeps our planet earth warm. As it keeps the planet earth, as it is warm, children, what happens, it enables the life exist, the life, that is the plants, animals, human beings are able to live on this planet earth due to the heat of the sun, and it makes our planet earth warm, and it gives a support to a vast variety of life to exist on the planet earth, children. Understood? So now these are some of the examples. Now we know that the burning of fuels, when we burn the fuels may be the wood, the petrol, the diesel, or the kerosene. As we burn the fuels, the heat is produced. Yes, the heat is produced. With the help of the heat, the engines, the engines move, and the food is also prepared. Yes, and we know that this the heat energy, it is also used to run the aircraft, the cars, the aircrafts, and also the rockets, children. Understood? So using this solar energy, we know that the solar heaters are also prepared. So everyone okay, will be having the solar heaters at their home. These solar heaters use the heat energy of the sun, and what they do, they heat the water, and the water, as it is heated up, this water is being used for various purposes in our day to day life, children. So from this what we learned that the heat is also a form of energy. So the heat received, the energy, that is the heat energy received from the sun is being used. It is being used in, for example, the cycles, the solar, solar air, this is being used in cycles or the cars or buses, the trains that can move from one place to another, children. So the heat energy is being used in these vehicles. So this is about the heat energy, children. Now we'll move on to the light energy. As we know that the sun, it gives us heat and light. Now we finished the heat energy. Now we'll move on to the light energy. So light energy is also a, sun is the main source of light energy. The other form of energy is light, children. Yes, and we know that sun is the main source of light energy, and it is the sunlight. It is the sunlight. It is the sunlight which is, yes, which enables us to see the things, which enables us to see the things around us, children. Yes, so the with the help of this light energy, the life that is the life exists on the planet earth. And we know that the plants use this light energy, use the sun's light, that is the sun's energy. Yes, in the form of light energy, the plants use the energy to prepare their food, and the process of preparing the food with the help of the light energy, we call it as photosynthesis. And as we know that the animals and human beings, mostly they depend on plants for their food, and plants also prepare their food using light energy. Hence we can call that light is also a form of energy, children. So we know, yes, from this we can understand that without the sunlight, the plants cannot survive. And as the plants cannot survive, these plants, they cannot prepare their own food. So ultimately, yes, the we depend on the sun's light for our existence. Understood? So from this we can conclude that, yes, because of the energy of light, the life exists, children. Yes, and we know that the sun's light, okay, sun's light is able, we are able to see the things. And during the night time, what happened? The man has made some of the other sources, man-made sources. Yes, using this man-made sources at night time, we are able to see the things around us. That is the tube light, the bulbs, LEDs, the lasers are being prepared by man. So these are the man-made sources of light. Man-made sources of light which enable to see the things around us during night time, children. Understood? So now, as we know that by using this solar energy, that is the light energy, yes, man is also prepared some of the devices, that is the solar cells. The solar cells, we know that these solar cells, they change. What they change, children? They change the light energy. They change the light energy into electricity. So these are these solar cells, they are often used in electronic devices. Okay, devices such as the batteries and calculators. These are being used. Yes, hence they also are used in the space. Yes, they are also being used in the space where they are here. What happens? The light energy is being converted into electricity in the satellites, children. So the satellites get the power. Is due to the from the solar cells, and these solar cells convert the light energy of the sun into electricity. So from this we know that yes, light is a form of energy. Hence, so now today in this class we learnt the heat energy and light energy. In the next class we'll move on to the other forms of energy, children. Okay, thank you, children.